and enjoy your evening with your crumpets and tea. And as Deb mentioned, when you hear the bell, your memory string will be pulled. Enjoy. Thank you.
About a young one. A 3-year-old boy went with his daddy to see a litter of kittens. Upon returning home, he breathlessly said and informed his mom there were 2 boy kittens and 2 girl kittens. Daddy picked them up and looked underneath. He replied, "I think it must have been printed on the bottom, Mom. I didn't see nothing." Girls and boys just have their own print, their own trademark, and that's what each one of you have here tonight. You have your own life, you have your own family, but most of all, you have each other. You have laughter, you have happiness. So, without further ado, I don't know if Ma Carol's in the building. Do you think she's around? Let's holler for her. Ma! Hear nothing. Ma! Oh, louder than that. Ma! There. Ma Carol in the building? Where did she go? I'm going to look for her. Where's Ma Kettle? Right here. Oh no, she is here! Big round of applause for Ma feast. Oh, must have been the boys more than the girls that did that.
Must have been.
You got any youngins out there playing tonight, son?
I have some, yeah.
All right, you
Come on in, girl. Come on in.
What were you doing on a Saturday night when you were knee-high to a grasshopper? Were you sliding down the tin roof? Were you playing kick the old tin can? Were you fighting with your brothers and sisters? Were you playing hide and seek? What else were you doing? What were you doing, Lorraine, when you were a little girl on a Saturday night?
Hopscotch.
Hopscotch! Anybody else play hopscotch?
I did.
Edie, Abby, over. Oh yeah, Andy over. We used to play that all the time, and it was such a treat. Treat. But you know what? Saturday night, Nicky, knock, knock. And guess what Saturday night was? Oh, it was bath time. 1 week the girls, next week the boys. Then we switched the girls. Oh, look at baby and all. Look at that. How about more 12? And a 1, and a 2, and a 3. And nothing. Oh God! How about Tommy Hunter? Anybody watch Tommy?
Grandma had a hen, and it was built in 1904. Shipped down from Indiana back before the First World War. He'd sit down and crack his nose. And his breakfast was little cabbage and fish.
On Sunday morning, bright and early, there was a ride for the whole family. It was time to head to church. Most times we walked, went home by horse and buggy, and later years by vehicle. Welcome attend church in the wild. This dress is unfortunately never been worn, but it's one of the most beautiful dresses we have here tonight. Please make welcome our model coming down the back door. Do you remember Pollyanna with the prickles on her cheeks? She didn't have any toys at all, and always wished to have a doll. If someone dared to call you Pollyanna, any of you folks remember him? Do any of you remember the one-room schoolhouse? My school, there was 11 in my school. They were all my cousins except for one. Even the teacher was my relative. I started school at the age of 6 and walked about 1.5 miles, both night and morning, and I would not trade it for anything today. How many of you got the strap? Do you remember the strap? Do you remember breaking ice out of the water pail? Do you remember playing marbles and jacks at lunchtime? Just so many memories. Take a look. We have the school inspector here, so sit up straight. Keep your hands in your lap because What did we have to call you? It wasn't Wenda. What was it? What?
Babylon Baxter.
Oh, you didn't have to use your strap today?
No.
Good. Who won the spelling bee today?
It was a tie.
A tie? Now what do you do?
Just give them both big prize.
Oh, good. Smile. They'll be so happy. I know one that would love a dolly. A big hand for our inspector, our teacher, and as you know, students graduated from both grade 8 and grade 12 back in those days when I was a little girl. And this generation, they graduate from grade 8 and grade 12, but then they go to the prom. So please welcome a girl that's all ready for the prom, probably next 3 weeks or so. There she comes. Beautiful. We had this all worked on an MP3 player. We couldn't get it to work. So we're just going to ad-lib on the way up. You can put the imaginary songs in your head. This is a draft from 1970. It was the draft of Susan and Lyle Cook, who were married, I believe, 48 years this year. No, yes, it is Lyle and Susan. Susan Cook, and it's one of the few ones that the veil is down over the face until after the vows are said. Then she lifts the veil, and Lyle says, "Uh-oh." I'm married now. And a big smack. Look at the beautiful train place. Next we have, as you know, in those days there was a barbering system where farmers would go and barter their goods to make extra money. And then it got so the ladies would go as well and barter their goods to the people of the community. I don't know how many of you know, but the first bartering station was at where the Stone Mills Township Farms live now, they live there. And they would go there with the horses and buggies and their wool and their wheat and hay and whatever, and barter it off to other people in the community. Then the man realized that there was profit in that, and the ladies themselves took their bread and their canning and pumpkins and vegetables out of their garden the following year. Housewives, were very busy. They were meant to stay at home. Very, very few worked out at all. They worked in the home. They raised children. They fed them. They got them off to school. They did their laundry and
There you go.
did all the cooking of the meals. And Pa had nothing to do but to come in and pull his chair up to the table. He could eat salt pork, and quite often, as my grandfather did, he didn't take any meat because there was so many of us at the time. I came from a family of 7. And Grandpa would eat the fat rind off the side of the plate and let us children eat the good lean meat. So porridge and milk didn't really sit with me very well. Corn syrup, boiled eggs in the corn syrup can. We had all those special treats. And what are you today making there, Miss?
I'm making a punch.
Making what?
Punch, like a punch.
Oh, she's doing some baking today. And do you wear your hat when you bake?
It depends on the weather, but it was a bit windy today, so.
Oh, it depends on the weather. So you think it's cool enough today to have your hat on? It probably keeps the flour out of your hair too if you're like Martha Stewart.
Yeah, it's a bit Rice Krispies, I get flour all over.
Oh dear, probably Rice Krispies in your hair. Yes. This next dress is a very, very, very special treat. Personally, I have not seen one myself, and the dress is worn in two ways, and you're going to see both ways tonight. We did have this model coming down to Sweet Caroline from Neil Diamond. It was worn, this one was worn mainly to wedding, the ballroom dancing, on a regular, sometimes Saturday afternoon, but mainly Saturday night. It's got the big hoop underneath it. This dress itself is handmade, and it's always accented with a belt. That was one thing that I had learned. I didn't know they accented them with a belt. And if you notice, no jewelry. They didn't wear jewelry to any of the events that she went to. Ballroom dancing was mainly she went and went herself, not as a family. Sometimes her parents would go, but not always. It's a beautiful dress. The next dress we have is from 1990, so it means it's a little over 30 years old. It's a wedding dress that has a huge train with a bustle in the back. This is a bride that always wanted to be a princess. Being 30 years old, the dress is fairly good condition, nice and white, and the veil itself was a poof. She wore a tiara with it as well at the time. And someone's going to show you how to bustle it. Maybe they're not going to show you how to bustle it. I have personally bustled this one. And there's a little pull for it. The hooks underneath, turn around, this big heart. And it sits right there in that button. And then you there you go. Bustles, and that's the way she wears it for the evening. This is the dress of a typical family going to a wedding. You see the bride, the mother of the groom, the 2, 3, maybe little girls. Okay, here come the flower girls. The first little girl is wearing a dress from 8 years ago, is the white one. And the 2 little pink dresses come from a bride that was married 53 years ago next month. They were worn by a 2 different women. And there's Mama behind. And she's a twirling. That's exactly what the little girl did at my wedding. She can stay there and dance, Mom. It's a party. Wow. I said 1 knot plus 2 knots makes 4 knots. There's something wrong with that picture. Where Granny would make what? Fried. What did Granny make? Fried giblets or something. Anyway, Granny has made the trip.
Let's go, Granny.
There she is. We have a golden wedding dress back there somewhere. A golden. Come here, Granny, don't be shy. Look at there. Oh, there she comes. 1970. Just so you know, ladies, this dress is the dress of Leela Brown, married to Ronald Brown in 1930. That wedding dress is just beautiful. So they're back, they were at knee-high dresses, and to let you know, that dress was homemade. We do apologize for the music tonight. We did have music, but technical difficulties, we can't do it. This is the red dress back I was talking about before that's close to 100 years old. And this time it's called a ceremonial style dress. It was worn to meet with lawyers, worn to funerals, worn to weddings like this. And it was always hid so you could see part of the white crinoline, which meant purity, trust, and honesty. Isn't that beautiful? Next we have laundry day. We have the laundry lady, or the mom of the house. She's carrying a 100-year-old laundry basket that I'm sure was loaded with clothes, and Monday was always wash day because somehow the kids all seem to be dirty on the weekend. So between bath time Saturday night and school, wash day was Monday, and no dryer. It went out in the clothesline and brought in frozen in the winter and thawed by the wood stove, and it was just, that's the way it was, sheets and everything, and sheets were changed twice a week in the summer. Has anyone out there been to Centreville Fair? Centreville Fair has a long time of history. It is the World's Fair. If you miss it this year, you're going to miss a lot. There's some brand new things coming to Centreville Fair. And it is an agriculture fair meant for farmers, for families, for entertaining, and you know, people showing off their cattle and their pigs and their goats. And so we have on the way. And this is Avery. She has worn, I don't know how many outfits tonight because you can tell by the size of her. And her sister's just as tiny. Quite often they didn't wear a veil, they just wore a headpiece. All right, we finally got Carol Ann up and moving. The limo must have been late or something. So the next wedding dress is what I call the golden wedding dress. It was married by a bride who will be married 50 years in September. So big round of applause for Mr. and Mrs. Phil Hammond. As I said, Mr. and Mrs. Phil Hammond will be married 50 years in September, and that's quite a record anymore. She wasn't too tall either, was she? Okay, this next wedding dress is that of Louise and Al Taylor of Enterprise, and they would be married 74, 76 years, married in 1930. So, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to especially thank Louise and Charlie and Marilyn Detler for letting us borrow this dress for tonight. It is a beautiful, beautiful gown, handmade, and you can see how nicely it flows and how petite girls were even 70-some years ago. I don't think they ate for days. Okay, thank you. Now you're in for a special treat. The treat that I've talked about next to the ballroom dress. And that is the dress that is very, very close, if not there, 100 years old wedding dress. It's handmade, again, worn by a very petite lady, and we're very fortunate to be able to borrow it tonight. It is one beautiful dress and in mint condition for the stage. As you know, the Centreville community is a very agricultural community. Centreville, Newburgh, we're very, very fortunate. We have one of the highest amount of farmers left farming anymore, as farming has become kind of an, I'm not going to say extinct, but it certainly has gone down from when my grandfather farmed. It's just with fuel and fertilizer and everything, we've sort of whittled away at that agriculture background. So it's very important we keep what we know and share what we know and keep agriculture in rural Ontario. We have some farmers here tonight that have definitely, they work hard, they're mechanics, they're calculators, they milk cattle, they look after livestock, they're pets. We just can't thank the farmer enough. And I think that's our job as a community to make sure we show farmers how proud we are to keep agriculture in this community. That rake was used by an ancestor called Mr. Wigger from many years ago. They used to rake the windrows, well it wasn't windrows, it was through a combine or a haybine, like a haybine thing, they didn't call it a haybine. There's a baby. Boy.
2 children.
Hi. That's the next generation of farming, and we've got to make sure we keep it there. Whether you're planting flowers, you're planting trees, you're preserving, you're conserving. Just make sure you thank a farmer. That's all I can say. It takes a whole family to build a farm and maintain a farm these days, and I can't repeat that enough to say thank you for a job well done. Many thanks. As you know, there wasn't a lot of money to spend in the early years, I'm going to say from 1900 to probably the 1960s or whatever. So families would gather in homes, they would gather at churches, they would gather at their neighbors, they would gather on a dirt road, and they would have their chit chat, very neighborly. You could always count on your neighbor being there to help you if you were broke down or needed anything, someone was ill, whatever. But the social gatherings in those days were getting together for a crokinole game, a good game of euchre, kick the old tin can. The children always went, babysitters were long gone at that time. And even women, I can remember women that would perm their neighbor's hair, fix their car, fix a tire, change the oil. Lots of people that just weren't able to do things, and it was always a neighborly thing, and for a family to join together and support their neighbors, the people on the road, and their community. Our social gathering here tonight looks like they might be going to a card game, a crokinole game, a board game, and maybe just a nice old-fashioned visit with their neighbors. Our final wedding dress tonight is one from about 20 years old, where they added a lot of, not a lot of color, but they added beyond the white color on the wedding dresses. This one here is done in a color that's actually very popular this year. It's sort of a dusty rose, but it was very minimal, the color that was added, because the white was purity, and that people always got married in a church, 99% of the time, I would say, and maybe my minister will verify that, but Avery wears this dress very, very well, and we're just so happy to have so many wedding dresses here today. So, 1900 to 2017, what a show. It really is. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and give a big round of applause to one of the hugest supporters of both this community, this church, and the young people that you saw here tonight. Please welcome Reverend Barbara Mahood.
Have you enjoyed yourselves? Would you like us to do it again maybe next year or so? It's been a lot of work, but you can see it's been a lot of fun. And just so you know, as following up with my husband's introduction, I had the privilege of being ordained in 2000. So women are definitely being ordained now. At this time, I wish to invite all our models out onto the stage for a final bow and a chance to thank one more time. And this time, we also want to thank you for being here and your support. And well, what would it be without You're welcome, all our models. It's been fun, and it was a welcome experience, and it's fun to be together tonight after so long apart. Fun to share a cup of tea or a glass of lemonade and remember days past or get a glimpse of yesteryear. At this time, I have a few people I want to thank. I wish to thank Susan and Lionel Cook, Lorraine and Kelly and Isabella Brew for all their time and effort here. Dale Holden, hairdresser, and many other things. Those who are filming tonight, Andrew and Bill and Ken. So all of this will be on video that we can enjoy again. And for those who were unable to be here, we do have a video of it all. And Brad Snyder, whose PA system we are using, and people from the Newburgh and Centreville Pastoral Church who have been very involved in helping with this. And I know we're not getting everybody, but we must begin and end with Debbie, who, this was her dream, this was her idea, and she made it a reality and pulled us all in just to assist her. So Dolly or Debbie, whoever you are, a big round of applause for Debbie.